Alright, everybody, it's time for a bonus episode. Why bonus? Because I'm going to go through an RP with you, and yeah, I haven't really explained how to fight in the game yet. Ooh. Yes, you can find me, Vince Dragonborn, on Hitbox TV, Vince Dragonborn on YouTube, and Zero on TV. Anyways, so what has happened is that I have received a letter in the mail. Kottke, the gods have named you as the source of my bounty. You have one chance to explain yourself to ease my ire. One chance, and you better be quick. My patience is fickle. Fires. I write back. All I can do it, give you my secret, name your time, and give me directions to a place. Best regards, Kottke. Vyers, having received my note, speaks directly to my mind. Take yourself to the wilderness. My lips feel dry. Traveling to the wilderness, Kottke runs into an obnoxious drunk. The obnoxious drunk gasps in astonishment as he views Kottke. The obnoxious drunk babbles. Oh, look at beauty. I must be dead. I've gone to heaven. Kottke, you're the most beautiful woman. Will you marry me? Kottke looks at the obnoxious drunk with disdain. Sorry, I have an appointment. The obnoxious drunk, saddened by the news, takes another drink and says, That's okay. I forgive you. After a brief trip of getting lost in the city, Kottke arrives in the wilderness. She looks in her backpack for water, but sees that there is none there. Feeling so thirsty, she frowns disapprovingly. Looking around for the mighty Vyers to slay her, she quenches her thirst by talking to everyone. Oh no, I'm lost in the wilderness with no water. Will someone come find me? Kottke looks around for Vyers to come and take his price. Vyers summons Kottke to the throne room. The grand room is the point of entry to the palace of Tanadu, and the location where the king and queen most frequently greet their guests. Rich tapestries cover the walls in lavish designs, and a thick rug sweeps across the floor. A nondescript door blocks the way south of here, while the throne stands a short distance to the east. The beast, Vyers, hunches here, withered and leering. The king's guards are also here at attention. They are boring and we will not talk about them. No longer human-shaped, Vyers' face is flatter, broader than it ever was. These days it looks more like a human's face or a bear's. There are two small gashes in its center, a lich's approximation of nostrils, perhaps. Above them, two empty eye sockets that only ever seem to darken. Towards the chin is a prominent maw, an undulated mishmash of fangs and teeth that appear and disappear with any motion, perpetually shifting. His desiccated skin has taken on a midnight shade and is almost transparent against the bone. His hands, however, are a thicker black, opaque, and each finger droops with a very long obsidian claw. He is very broad and very tall, but he does not emanate physical power. The quiet clicking of joints can be heard as Vyers leaves west. Kottke follows Vyers to the west to the office of the Archmage Praetor. The tapestries present throughout the rest of the castle have been stripped from the walls here, revealing a marbled onyx framework for these sprawling office quarters. A lush, blood-red rug has been draped over the polished wooden floors, and the walls are lined with floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, stuffed full with tomes and scrolls. An immense campaign desk fills the center of the room, fashioned from the thickest mahogany. Two high-backed Gothic chairs face each other in the corner. The beast Fires is also here. Kottke steps forward and takes a bow before Fires, tilting her head to the left to get a better listen. As her thirst hits her, Kottke grunts softly. Kottke, ignoring Fires for the moment, looks in her backpack for water, and of course, fails to find it as she knows there was none in there from before. Kottke admires the chairs. There are two, wrought from flawless mahogany. These grand armchairs look more like thrones than benches for conversation. Perfectly matched, each armrest ends in the likeness of a snarling wolf. Fire stares at Kottke in a silent, eyeless stare. Kottke is very thirsty. She tilts her head to the right and stares into Fire's eye sockets. Feeling very overconfident, Kottke asks Fires, "Do you think I'd make a good sacrifice?" Kottke smiles proudly, but grunts as her thirst hits her again. Fire, speaking directly into Kottke's mind, tells her, "You called for my death without provocation. Were you dropped on your head? Speak directly to the issue at hand. No irrelevant stupidity." As her thirst hits her during the mind intrusion of Fires, it causes Kottke's head to hurt, so she rubs her temple. Kottke looks at Fires. Fire, speaking again directly to her mind, says, "I think you'd make a nice fire." Kottke, delighted at this news, beams delightedly at Fires, but feels so thirsty. Kottke, so happy to hear this news, says to Fires, "Can it be a fire to Arwen? I couldn't think of a good sacrifice for death besides myself." Kottke frowns to herself and says to herself, "So many tasty sacrifices for all the gods." Fires crosses his arms slowly. As another wave of thirst hits Kottke, she sits down. Kottke looks up at Fires with one happy eye. As another wave of thirst hits her, she moans. Kottke looks at the mahogany chairs and tilts her head to the left, saying to Fires, "They think you should do it." Kottke nods to herself and lies down as another wave of thirst hits her. She moans loudly on the floor. Fires commands Kottke, "Get up! I've already reached my tolerance for your idiocy." As another wave of thirst hits her, Kottke struggles to stand up. Kottke braces herself by spreading her roots along the floor. Fire, speaking directly into Kottke's mind, "You threatened me from the shadows. Now you act like a fool in my office. I've been more than generous with you. If you cannot make amends, then I shall have you killed." Varys shrugs lightly as he delivers this sinister threat. Kottke, ignoring her thirst, smiles widely at Fires. "Yes, please. But please make sure to dedicate it to Arwen." As another wave of thirst hits Kottke, she has to wipe her mouth. Fires disdainfully thinks to Kottke, "Arwen has no need for a tree with brain rot. If you seek to please the Lord of Death, then you must become something first." Kottke grins evilly and says to Fires, You choose to speak for death itself? Kottke giggles and cackles to herself gleefully. Her thirst is strong, but she says to herself, I wish we brought that talking water. Vyers thinks to her, I don't speak for death. I speak self-evident truths. Truths first spoken by the likes of Yan and Alexstrasza. Kottke focuses on Vyers again and says, yes, true heroes of their gods. Grinning evilly, she taunts Vyers. And who do you worship, fair cannibal? She sits down and waits for an answer. Vyers commands her, don't sit down, and she obliges, brushing herself off as if nothing happened. Vyers thinks, you were invited here to explain your behavior. You have done everything but. You may leave. Kottke, confused by the command, frowns disapprovingly. She asks Vyers, may or should? Vyers, dispassionately, talks to Kottke's mind. Should. I have no innate interest in you. Simply in what secret you may have to offer. It would appear you would rather waste my time with silliness than make your offering, so you have no place here. Kottke bows before Vyers and says to him, yes, master, as you command, and uses the power of recollection to return to New Lensmoor.